Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tomorrow's Weather Today. Today we will be talking about a potential for some severe weather today, um, May 23rd, which is Saturday, May 23rd. Um, Although I think it is likely to see severe weather today, um, I'm not so sure that it's going to fully develop. And we'll look at the HRRR and the NAM. Um, and we'll go through it. So today our highest risk is an enhanced risk of level 3 out of 5 um, for much of northern Illinois and parts of eastern Iowa, and a marginal risk headed down um, to Arkansas. And then we do have another two areas of slight risk for the upper plains and Texas. We can look at these towards the end of the video really quickly, but my main focus is the enhanced risk over here. This actually just came out this morning, as yesterday it was only a marginal risk, and it was like basically this small area, and then the marginal risk was expanded southward um, with this early morning update. So we have a 10% chance for tornadoes. Um, I've seen 10% days that have blown up, and I've also seen 10% days that have been a bust. So let's hope that today is a bust, as that 10% is getting close to the Chicago area. Um, and there's 5 million people in this 10% area. That's a lot of people, and we don't want any of those people to be affected by tornadoes. 2% chance for the upper plains and for Texas. Only a 5% chance for wind for this area, but 15 for the other slight risks. And then a 15% chance for hail for Illinois. 15% chance with some significant severe, and then 15 with sig severe in Texas. So going over to the HRRR model, resolution rapid refresh, we are looking at the reflectivity with the updraft helicity greater than 75. Um, so this is basically showing updraft helicity. I'll point one out to you when it shows up. So let's bring this ahead to 19Z. Actually, let's step it back to 18Z, 17Z. So we can see that we have storms basically firing um, within the next hour in Iowa, and then we're going to bring this ahead. Some showers are going to start in Illinois, and then start to really get going by 17Z, 18Z, um, and start to move in a northeasterly fashion. These are the storms that I'm most concerned about for tornadoes. Um, these, as they are basically discrete. Um, if they don't line up like this, I can definitely see a better chance of seeing tornadoes. Um, and then we move it on to 22Z and 23Z moving into Chicago area. And then maybe another band coming through, another line of storms coming through. After that, through the Chicago area, but basically we're done. Um, so I think the best tornado chance they're saying it's up here, but I'm thinking that the best tornado chance is down here. I did not mean to do that. Um, so bringing it back, looking at the surface base cape, let's put on the forecast loop here. And if let's go to the satellite um, imagery real quick. Um, and look at the Illinois area, we can already see that there's sun that's going to be heating the area. And if we go back to the SPC website, let's go to, oops, let's go to the main page, and then we go to mesoscale analysis. So yeah, so there's sun breaking out, which is already going to increase instability, give fuel for those storms. If we go to surface base cape, we can already see that we are getting cape into the area. It's weak right now, but it is definitely going to be increasing. And those photographs are, and we'll look at the upper levels too. Um, and if we take this ahead, we can see instability increasing with the wrap. possibly up to 2,500 joules per kilogram, and that line of storms coming through just like the HRRR had it. You can see here with that line that's in central Illinois. Um, so going back to the Cape, we can see, bringing this ahead, that we get a decent amount of Cape. You only really need, like I've said before, about 1,000-ish to get severe storms, and we can see we actually have a storm going on right here at this time. So we'll take a sounding that's out ahead of this and see the environment that it's headed into, which has 2,200 Cape. That's actually still contaminated, so let's, my bad. Let's take one a little farther ahead, about 2,200 again. So it's saying marginal tornado. Um, we can see the LCL is a little high. It's not too bad though. I think that's why we're giving the marginal tornado risk. Our photographs aren't fantastic, especially in the 0 to 1 kilometer. Sure, we're not getting a lot of SRH. See, we can 47. Um, and our DCAPE is 798, so we're not going to get strong winds. That's why I think we're only seeing a 5% chance. The SPC is giving for damaging winds. We can say we have a little bit of a dry layer here, um, and this isn't a capped environment, which tells me that storms are going to be able to pop up freely, and there's not going to be as many discrete supercells. On big tornado days, um, there's a cap. There should be a cap on the big tornadoes days because only discrete supercells can pop up instead of lines of storms. And once that cap breaks, you get a line of storms. Bringing this ahead even farther, the Cape dies out by tonight by sundown, which is expected. Looking at that mixed layer cap, the SYN, there's not really any SYN. There's none. There's a morning cap. If we take a look right now, we can see that on the soundings. It's right there. So going over to supercell composite, moving along, we do get some enhanced areas of supercell composite. Let's take one where it says 22. It's a little contaminated, so let's just move it ahead into where it says 11. It's a little contaminated, but not as bad. You can see these photographs are looking good with SRH in the 135 area for 1 to 2 kilometers, because we do have those backed winds out of the southeast, um, which does give that curved shape to the photograph. Um, Significant tornado parameter. Yeah, not it's yeah. Anything over 1 is really good for this. There's a good chance to see tornadoes. Not really good, um, but the chance is there. So let's look at the low-level jet. So by 21Z, we do have an enhanced area of low-level jet, getting close to the 40 knots in northern Illinois. And that does move over the top and stays there for the entire duration of this event. Looking up to 500 millibars, we can see our trough right here, which is our forcing for this. Um, and we're looking at that left exit region of that jet max, which is right here. That's where you're going to have the best lift. And you can see at 20s that we have 50 knots um, of winds at 500 millibars. So I did say we would go to, let's just look at the national just because it's easier. So I haven't actually looked at this yet, but we can look really quickly. You can see storms really start to fire up in South Dakota and Nebraska this evening. This one, actually, let's take a closer look at that in a second. But you can see, I'm thinking that this is the dry line. If we go to right here, do we have a dry line in place? Yes, we do. this is our current surface map. We can see here's our low pressure. This front will probably be lifting north. What time today? Let's actually check that. Looking at 0Z. Yeah, see this move north. This front right here, this warm front. Um, and here is our dry line that I was talking about at 0Z. So if we move this ahead another hour, yeah, there's our dry line. That's our dry line right there. I would expect large hail at that. I'm going to take a closer look at those in a second. But if we do look at our dew point wind barbs, we can definitely see a dry line right there. Um, we can see winds. Oops. If we take this back, we can see winds um, going like this with dry air and then converging along this dry line right there, and then a cold front that extends downwards. Um, so we didn't look at dew points up here, but they are in the 60s, 70s, which is pretty good. Um, yeah, that's pretty good for severe storms up there. Now looking at, I wanted to look at these cells really quickly. Yeah, these cells I think will have the best chance for um, seeing a tornado. It is a little capped, not horrible though. I've seen worse caps. Um, that hodograph is very large. It's very, we can see 169 SRH in the 1 to 2 kilometer or 0 to 1 kilometer. Looking at Cape really fast. Yeah, there's plenty of Cape. Um, 3,500. Um, again, photographs looking good. Some nice curvature in the first kilometer. Um, yeah, so overall, I'm expecting a lot of severe weather today. Question is, where is it going to be? Will we see it in Illinois, or will we see it in the Upper Plains or in Texas? Um, if we take, I think I just wanted to look at one other thing. Surface obs. Already we got dew points into the 60s and temps in the 70s up here. Um, so that's a bad sign because we don't want to see that. And that supercell composite goes up um, over time tonight according to the RAP model. Bulk shear, let's look at surface to 1 kilometer real quickly. Um, right now, there is an enhanced area. I actually can't go ahead, but that's okay. Alright, so that is it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe and turn on those post notifications. Thank you so much.